In a world where hopium and common sense collide, starring the CryptoKeeper and BlockchainCrusader. Welcome to Debate Crypto. Question everything, trust nothing. It's your boys, CryptoKeeper, BlockchainCrusader in the house, and Miguel starting me off trying to make me sick with this freaking moving background.
Whoa! So much
feel
movement
like I'm
going on.
I need to put my hands up. I'm on a freaking roller coaster here. Hold on a second.
Baby Jesus. We got this guy over here saying he's about to jump into the metaverse. Dude, you're not going to survive in the metaverse.
We have landed. Okay.
Back to the good old days when the movies didn't have sound. They were just like,
I know. I need to. It's Boomer. It's Boomer CryptoKeeper over here. It should be Boomer Keeper. Yeah. So at any event, Crypto fam, glad that you guys are here tonight. It is actually, I'm going to tell you guys up front. It's Saturday Night Live, and we are relying on you, the chat, this evening, and I'm going to tell you why. There is just about 1.5% of nothing going on in the freaking crypto space right now. Miguel and I were talking a little bit ago, and we were like, hey, we got Saturday Night Live tonight. We're not doing, just to be clear, we'll start the debates back up next week. So that will be popping off again next week. I had taken a week off. We just got back, so we weren't ready for somebody to come on tonight. But we'll kick that off again starting next week. But we were looking and saying, well, let's just do a Saturday Night Live. And as we were looking, we were like, wait a minute. There's absolutely zero going on. So smash the likes if you are happy that there is absolutely no news. Sometimes no news is good news. Make sure that you share the stream out with somebody. Follow us on Twitter. DebateCrypto OG. And I don't know, Miguel, how you doing this evening? Anything going on good with you?
I'm doing good, man. I mean, even though there's nothing going on, there is some articles that I can pull up here. I didn't really want to pull up kind of old news, if you would you could say. But basically, I'll share a quick little.
Whoa! Hold on. Before we get into that, let's at least take a peek at the market real quick. I mean,
okay, yeah.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves here. Hold on 1 second. Let me do the honors here, and then Miguel, you can give us a little bit of your TA knowledge bombs that you've been dropping on me lately. So, CoinMarketCap says, "Bada bing, bada boom." The entire market is down let me actually refresh this to make sure. The entire market is down 0.55%. We're at 1.74 trillion with a T dollars. Guys, here's the deal. If you're new in crypto, one of the things that you will notice is that as a general rule on weekends, right? Weekends, you just don't have a ton of volume. That's pretty typical. So a lot of times weekends will be pretty blasé, not a ton going on. Not always the case, but a lot of times that can happen. And what the other thing that you'll notice is on weekends, it will be generally retail money that will move the markets. And so it'll move a little bit more erratic, or I shouldn't say erratic, just a little bit differently than it does when the big dogs are in during the week. But Bitcoin's at 39,120, pretty flat, down about 0.26. ETH, pretty flat. It's green right now, but who knows? It'll change in probably 38 seconds. BNB down a little bit. Listen, everything's pretty flat. XRP had a nice big pump yesterday, so now, of course, turns right back around and goes down about 6%. Terra down about 6% or 5.5%. Solana down a little bit. Yeah, just like I said, guys, blase. What's the technicals telling you, Miguelito?
Yeah, so let's jump into that. Let's see some of this crazy TA. Let me not share audio. Shout out to CVO Crypto for teaching me what I know, because
that sounded pretty
I wouldn't know anything.
No,
honestly, it just caught me mid-breath. But yes, I mean, shout out to him and his group, his Discord or whatever. He definitely has great knowledge in there, what they're doing. And if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't know what I was about to show you right now. So first off, let's start off with the pivots, right? We have a quarterly pivot here. So the quarterly pivot is above 50, is up at 52,000. We are between, let me open this up a little bit. We are between these ranges, right? We thought we were forming a double bottom in the past recently, and we tried to break out of this resistance, out of this support line of 41. We could not stay above it, and then we've lost that support line again. So we're just ranging in between these two support lines, hopefully trying to get back to this 52,000 where this is this quarterly pivot. That would be a massive, uptrend if we were to do that. Definitely a big sign there. So in general, right, with these pivots, you would run a regression line, and it's real simple. You just run it from the beginning of one pivot to the end of the next pivot. And here we go. Boom. And we are in a downward trend, right? We've been in a downward trend. We will continue on this downward trend until we have something that changes the direction. We need to, and that's what this quarterly pivot would do. If we could break above this quarterly pivot, we would technically, and stay above there, we would technically start breaking this regression trend and then maybe start going into an upward trend. So for now, we are still ranging in this bottom trend, this downward trend, I should say. Let's see what we got over here. We also have, let's turn these pivots off real quick. Let's get this progression line off of here. We can also do some of, a volume pool so you can see what's going on in the volume. So if we go back from August, right, from August of 2021, all the way up to where we're at right now, main key point of volume, the range that we've been at is this 47K.
Yeah, that's been an important number for a while.
This is very important, right? And until we don't get above this range of volume here, this point right here just shows the highest amount of volume traded. So this is where Bitcoin has been traded between hands, between buyers and sellers the most. Mm-hmm. Doesn't mean that there's the most buys here or the most sales, just the most volume in trading. So it's a very important level to try to regain. As you can see, every time we try even approaching that level, we don't even get there and we just come right back down. So this is going to be very important. Being able to reclaim this will help us get back to that 52K range of that pivot, that quarterly pivot that we're in. There's obviously a bigger range. So if we bring the range down, back down to, let's say, the quarter. So if we bring these pivots back on, okay, we'll see. Let's get a pool of volume here for this quarter going on so far. So right now, let me open this up a little bit. So we're right on it. We're actually right on it's 39K, and that's exactly what we've been doing. That's where the most volume has been traded, is that 31K. We've had moments where we've come down, but we come right back to it. We have moments we've gone all the way back up, and we've kept coming back down. So this whole quarter of the first quarter of 2022, we have been range bound with the most volume happening at this 39K level.
One of the things I want to throw out there for those of you that are new or those of you that aren't, and this is a little bit of encouragement, is that one of the things that I've noticed over the years is that when the market just starts to absolutely bore you to death is when you should really actually hold on tight and start paying really close attention, because a lot of times this boredom is used as is basically weaponized against you. Because the reality is there's a lot of people in the chat right now, like, drop a 1 in the chat if you're just super bullish right now, or if you're super bearish. I would actually say, or drop a 2 if you're super bearish. I would say drop a 3 though, if you're bored to tears, right? And I think that ultimately, if we were really honest right now, I think that people are either going to be a little bit bearish or they're going to be bored to tears. And the bored to tears part is weaponized a lot of times to get people out of the market or not paying attention. And when things are just absolutely wah, then we take off. So
imagine it. That's exactly what I'm showing right here, right? The thing is, we've been range bound. If you can say all the way since since January 2021, we've been in this range where we've gone up here, we came back down, we slowly came back up, we came right back up, and we're back down again at the same key levels, right? We're just stuck in this range. So right now, we've literally just been in a smaller range, just jumping up and down between 44 and 39. This is the daily, right? So this is for days and days and days. We've just been on this slow trend and not really going anywhere up or downward. And it is boring people to death. But that being said, that's when most likely something crazy is going to happen, some type of catalyst or something. That's when you blast off. Look what happened last summer. Same thing. People were bored to death, and then we out of nowhere just skyrocketed.
Yeah, Sean's got an intimidating bear emoji over here, so I wanted to share that with the group. Sean, thank you. You definitely have intimidated the entirety of the chat, so we appreciate that. So hey, let's talk a little bit about let's chat about NFTs for a second. So we have talked about before let's start with that. We have talked about the Red Village before. Because it is a project that you and I are involved in. And you said something to me before we got on the stream, and I actually didn't even know that this was coming up. But we have a couple of the Genesis bloodline. Is it technically Genesis?
Yes, Genesis.
Yeah.
Yes,
The Genesis bloodline of these Red Village warriors and a couple of the blood portals. And this is a game that essentially, if you're familiar with Zed Run, it's kind of like a Zed Run type of idea, except for with warriors fighting as opposed to horses racing. Okay, so it's kind of similar idea like that. But the game had not been out. And Miguel, you said something to me before, and I'd like to hear what you have to say about it. Did you say the game is about to come out?
Yeah, so the game is launching this week. They're going to have their first test run tomorrow.
Okay.
They're going to have about, I believe, let me see. Let me actually share my screen real quick, and I'm actually going to bring up Discord.
And it's theredvillage.com is it's .com, right? Yeah, I think so.
I don't know if it's .com, but it's the Red Village.
The Red Village, but I'm pretty sure it's .com actually. I do believe that's what it is.
Let me bring this up on my screen. So as you can see over here, we are.
I don't know what's going on with your. I don't know what's going on with your writing. It looks freaking.
My writing?
Oh yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's just my screen, but it is so freaking grainy. I can't even read it.
Could be your eyes, because it's as clear as day on my screen.
Hey, hey, chat. Can you guys read what's going on? Is it just my computer, or is everything super blurry? I would like to hear from the chat. So tell me in the chat if you can read Miguel's screen right now, or when he had the charts out, because it looked absolutely super blurry to me. I just want to check. At any event, continue, Miguel.
So, in any event, I'm trying to look through their Discord right now. So, the alpha game launch is happening tomorrow, due March 13th, which is tomorrow, right? But they do explain that there's going to be a limited amount of how many people can play per day, and they're going to slowly scale it every single day for the next 3 weeks. I'm just trying to find game launch March 13th. So here it is. Day 1, which will be tomorrow, limited to one fight every 30 minutes or one event, whatever it is, right? One tournament, meaning 48 tournaments and 384 champions will fight tomorrow. Then day 2, there will be one every 20 minutes, 72 tournaments, 576 champions will fight. Day 3 to 7, it will be every 10 minutes. And then week 2, every 5 minutes. And then, week 3 and on is just as the demand is met, they will create more and more tournaments for these champions to fight. So tomorrow will be the most limited day, but tomorrow is day 1, right? They're slowly scaling the game to make sure that the game does not crash and can handle all the events happening.
I wonder if we're going to be able to, and I haven't looked into this enough. I wonder if we're going to be able to watch. They're calling them events. So I'm curious, are we going to be able to watch in the same way that we were able to watch with Zed Run? Like, are we going to be able to, sit in on a fight? I think that would be fun. I'm also interested to see how is the combat actually work? Like, am I going to be like moving my mouse around and actively in combat, or is this going to be
no?
Like,
hey, you're definitely not going to be moving.
Setting my warrior in there and setting him. Hey, dude, good luck, bro. Slap him on the back and say good luck, brother.
That's basically how it's going to work. You're definitely not going to be actively combating, fighting. Your character is just going to go in there and fight for itself. Will we be able to see the fight? I would hope so. I would hope to see that we get to see some type of action, just how in the Zed Run game you see the horses race,
right?
So I do hope we see that. I hope it's kind of I'm assuming it's going to be kind of a Roman style, like gladiator arena, right? And you just watch them fight, and there's going to be a tournament. There's going to be X amount of people, right? Just like in the race, there's 10 or 12 horses racing. There's going to be 10 or 12 warriors in a tournament, and they're all just going to fight each other until one survives. That would be the champion of that tournament, the big winner, and then boom, that event is over. Next event up, and so forth and so forth. So they did mention that there's going to be like some like permanent death fighting
I know, I
happening
remember that.
at some point. I don't know how I feel about that, about putting up a warrior that you
I'm
purchased for
telling
a
you,
few
they
$100
a few
and
hundred. Shoot, at the
permanent
time, I
death.
think they were like 500 if they're in dollars when we bought them.
That
You know
is
what I
a
mean?
few hundred. That is 100 plus a few more. It's a few hundred.
It's a solid few hundred, that's for sure. But yeah, so I ultimately, the same thing what Miguel's talking about, guys, is that one of the options that we had seen was basically you have the option to fight to the death. And so I don't know what that looks like. I don't know if you get, extra, but what it looked like initially, and I don't know again if they're going to do this or not, but it looked like you could fight your character to the death, and ultimately if your character loses, the other person takes your NFT. Like, so think about spending like $500 on an NFT. You then put it in, and it's not like you're just like betting some of your capital. You're literally betting the NFT. You are betting what you freaking came in for and saying, hey, I'm going to guess that this whatever algorithm they got going on here to fight, since I'm not going to be actively doing it myself, is going to win this fight. I think that will be that'll be super interesting. So
yeah, dude, I'm excited. I mean, play to earn games like these have been talked about for many months now. We've been talking about it. They're just eventually arriving now. So, there's a lot of other ones that we've had our eyes on that still haven't launched, but they're getting closer and closer. This just happens to be the first one that we're really invested in and is finally coming to fruition. So I'm excited, right? Look, the people that got in on Zed Run early and were able to buy these breeds, right? These Nakamotos and Zabos from the beginning. Those right now in Zed Run, 20K up, 20K up in US dollars, right? So they're worth a lot. Hopefully this game takes off like Zed Run, and there is, some value to these bloodlines, 6 months to a year down the line. It's a slow progress, but I think it could be very possible. Zed Run is the example that it could be possible.
Sean said it's like the Thunderdome of the metaverse. 2 men enter, 1 man leave with NFTs. So speaking of interest in the NFT space, and I didn't really know much about this. I was just reading this, but check this out. So the Bored Ape Yacht Club's Yuga Labs acquires CryptoPunks IP from Larva Labs. The rumors are true. Yuga Labs has bought the rights to CryptoPunks, and it's granting punk holders full commercial license. So Yuga Labs, the company behind the biggest and most valuable NFT collections in the industry, the Bored Ape Yacht Club, today announced it has bought the rights to the intellectual property of the CryptoPunks and Meebits collections from Larva Labs. And step one for Yuga Labs is to grant full commercial license to CryptoPunks and Meebits holders, according to a statement from the company. With this acquisition, Yuga Labs will own the CryptoPunks and Meebit brands and logos, and as they've done with their own Bored Ape Yacht Club collection, Yuga Labs will transfer IP, commercial, and exclusive licensing rights to the individual NFT holders. I mean, we've talked about this before, Miguel, but this is just a who's who in
smells a lot like centralization to me.
Well, no doubt, but what I'm getting at is these massive NFT projects like this that were originally just the profile picture NFT drops are just it's the flex. It's where it's driving the Lambo. It's living in a $30 million home. It's just basically saying, hey, look at me.
Yeah, it's the modern age flex for younger generations now to have one of these NFTs, and it just happened to happen, right? It was just something that just happened. There was no real reason for it to have the value it has.
See, I think that NFTs, I think that the NFTs the art can be an important piece, right? I get that. I think that it can be, but I think at this point, I think like we need to look at the world around us and see what's going on, and then give some use to the NFTs. That's kind of where my mind goes.
I feel like you can have exactly what these projects provide, right? The rarity, the cool art, and at the same time add utility in the back of it
in real life,
for real life situations, not just yeah, I have a cool piece of art. Yeah, I have a cool piece of art, but it also
It
grants
doesn't just
me
allow me to go
access.
into a freaking
Yeah,
party. It actually allows me to be more than even just part of a community where it's like, hey, we've got X, Y, and Z either going on or possibly could be going on. And now, boom, hey, here is an actual solution as part of being part of this community. And I think that that's where my mind kind of goes when I look at NFTs at this point. So I don't know. That's just kind of for what it's worth. My couple.
yeah. I
Cents
see
piece.
Sean in the comments saying the Bored Ape, the Bored Ape KYC thing really grinds my gears. I think they're trying to. I think that heard
What?
something about it. They're trying to KYC people.
They're
On the.
KYCing all the owners.
I think I don't
Sean,
know.
drop it in there, brother. Hey, and
Let's
for
Google
those
it
of
real quick.
yeah, and for those of you who aren't following Sean, New World Crypto, make sure you guys check him out over on Twitter, at least for sure. We're going to be doing an interview with Sean here in I think a couple weeks on like March 25th. So you guys will have to make sure to check that out. We actually have somebody interviewing us. We're not interviewing them, so that's going to be a nice little change. That will definitely be fun. But yeah, no, I hadn't heard anything about the KYC. I had not heard that at all. Did you find it?
Something about they're being criticized for KYC requirements, breaking away from the privacy-driven ethos of cryptocurrency. The Hash crew discusses maturation of the NFT space, yada yada yada. Does not go into any details. Oh, this is a video, but this is so it looks like they're trying to. It might be from what I'm seeing here is that they're trying to KYC the owners of the Bored Apes. KYC arrives at the door of Bored Ape Yacht Club. He did it with Twitter
Why?
Airwaves launching. I mean, I think it's because they're trying to give the IP intellectual property to the people. I don't know, right? That's what happens when you start getting centralized and start buying up a bunch of projects.
Well, the centralization is becoming a big problem across the board. We've talked about this, but it's really coming to light right now. I mean, my girl back here, right here, yep. Right there. She kind of, let me down a little bit. And when I heard the JP Morgan thing, first of all, I bank with Chase for my construction business, and they suck. Okay. They piss me off about a number of things in the way that they handle business. Now, my biggest holding, which is ETH, is in bed with them too. I can't get away from these schmucks. And so I'm irritated about it. But ultimately, yeah, it's happening, Miguel. You talk about it a lot, especially how, this centralization is ultimately going to be a problem, unfortunately, for all of us. With the world that we live in right now, we don't even need to go into details. All you got to do is look around a little bit and see that this authoritarian style, hey, do what I say, or else, is moving all the way into the crypto space. And the whole, like they said, crypto ethos is be your own bank. Miguel and I put a video together earlier today for Edge Wallet, and that's what Bitcoin and blockchain is about. Be your own bank. Decentralization, do your own thing, be in charge of yourself. And we're getting so far away from that, man. It's getting like, do what I say. I can prove that you did this, and this. Oh yeah, by the way, give me that information since you're involved in that.
But it's the people's fault. I don't blame the government.
What do you mean?
The government, that's the government's job. The government exists for the one purpose of demanding things of the people. The people exist to resist against what the government demands and say, no, we're not going to comply to whatever you say because we don't work for you. You're not our boss. You are our representatives, and you're supposed to represent our interests. And if our interests do not align with what you're demanding, then we will not comply. But people have forgotten that fact.
No, they haven't forgotten it. They're freaking weak.
They've forgotten it. People believe that the government is the authority, and whatever they say, we must listen to. If they say jump, we must be asking how high, because they're asking us to jump for a good reason, right? And the problem is, in crypto, people are greedy. We talk about this all the time. We are greedy. We want our bags to pump tomorrow. We want to be rich tomorrow. We
No
want to be
matter how it
driving
happens.
our Lambos tomorrow. Exactly. No matter how it happens. And if it requires centralization, if it requires KYC, if it requires regulation, if it requires these massive institutional whales to come in and buy up our project and manipulate it from there on,
So
I don't care, because I'm already in. And that right there is one of the key factors of why I don't like XRP, because XRP fills all those check marks.
God,
It's
you just can't
exactly
keep
that.
it out of your mouth,
I
can you?
can't.
Like,
I
I think
can't because
XRP comes off your
KYC,
lips more than it does mine.
dude. It's because XRP is the virus to is
The
literally
virus.
the virus to the crypto space. It was. Think back 4
Okay.
years ago, 2017.
Uh-huh.
There was no other crypto that worked with governments, worked with institutions, worked with the banks. Absolutely none. Only XRP. XRP came on. People caught on to the attention of XRP before the SEC lawsuit. And what do we have now? We have HBAR. We have, well, Stellar was around that same time too, but Stellar is the ugly stepsister of XRP, so it doesn't really matter. They're basically related. They're exactly the same project. Right? We have HBAR. We have all these other projects coming out. All these crypto projects. These corporate projects coming out trying to do the same thing. We have Algorand. We have a lot of corporate projects now, and people are trying to just say, hey, whatever it takes. Solana, heavy centralized, I don't care.
Well,
I
you know
don't
what,
care.
though? I think
I
it's
just
more
want
than
our
that.
bags to pump.
So I agree with you. I think it's more than that, though. So I think there's two things that also are at play here, and that's a really good point, Miguel. I agree with a lot of that. I think there's two other things though that are at play. The first thing is we have a lot of new people coming into crypto. I think it was like 75% of the people in crypto came in from 2021 on. So like we were absolutely on the front end of things, even if you got in 2017, you know what I mean? Like way on the front end. So we have a lot of new people coming in and they don't share that same, listen, it's not even that they don't share the sentiment. It's that it's not being talked about as much. It's not pushed to the forefront. What's being talked about is how high, how fast can we push this price to where I need it to go so that my bank account has enough zeros in it. And that's ultimately, but the problem is it's so that my bank account in US dollars can have enough zeros in it. It's not, hey, how it's taken me a while and I'm still not there. You guys know I'm fully transparent. It's taken me a while to get to the point where I look at a price in ETH or Bitcoin or whatever and actually just equate it in Bitcoin or ETH. Like immediately my mind wants to make that conversion, right? And ultimately, I think that if we continue to mesh in with these schmucks, right? I've got a pen in my hand of, that's theirs. If we continue to play their games, if we can continue to be a part of what they're trying to do and the centralization, then it's going to continue. So that's the first thing. The second thing is we have weak people, man. I genuinely believe there is a lot of people that live for leave me alone, make things convenient, as long as my little bubble that I live in isn't invaded, no matter what that looks like, as long as you don't hurt my feelings, as long as you don't encroach upon anything that if I believe one way and you don't, well, then you're wrong, or I better not hear you speak it out loud, right? I get canceled all the time on freaking TikTok. You and I have to watch what we say here. It's a bunch of weak ass people, man. I love the human race, but I hate what the human race has brought to my doorstep now. I can't even turn on Netflix without getting, crap pushed in my home, right? I'm not going to get into the details, but all I'm saying is don't push your agenda on me. If you know, and don't push your agenda into my home. I will invite it in my home if I want it in my home. And so what I'm finally getting at is that we have a bunch of people that live for convenience. They don't live for, hey, this is the world. They don't look past today. And if it's convenient today, if it feels good today, and I think that tomorrow it's going to help me, then cool. But if I got to look 2 years from now, if I got to look 3 years from now, it's part of the reason why people jump in and out of crypto too, because they're like, wait a minute, I got to wait like multiple years. I thought I was going to win Lambo was like tomorrow. If it's not tomorrow or next week, I'm freaking out of here. So.
And that's the problem, right? A lot of people, there's this always question being floated around in the crypto space saying, are you in it for the technology or are you in it for the money? right? And everybody's like, yeah, I'm in it for the technology, but they're not. They're in it for the money, right? And that mentality is what leads to this. And it's okay to want to make money, right?
Yeah.
I got in because of the technology. The money is the side effect of what this technology is
Well, I
doing.
would be lying to you if I said I got in for the tech. I got in because I looked at it as an opportunity financially, and I loved what it stood for. So it's like kind of a combination for me.
Provided by the technology,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
But if you just focus, right, when you read the Bitcoin standard, it highlights what the technology is, right? It shows you what the technology of money has been this entire history of humankind. And now it shows you what Bitcoin's technology can do for money. And you say, bam, opportunity. I need to get into this, right? But now we have shifted away from, whether it's because a new wave of people jumped into crypto or whatever it is, we have just jumped into just the gains. All we care about are the gains. Crypto's about getting in and getting out, making money, getting in and getting out, right? And TA and trading has become so popular inside of crypto now that that's all everyone cares about. The technology doesn't matter. And that is where the downfall is, because without implementing certain things into the technology, we have no privacy. We have we have no privacy. We have more restrictions on us. We have
Hmm.
more centralization, and we're just at a traditional system 2.0. So we are no longer our own banks. We are no longer this, this thing where we can just peer to peer with no middleman. There's going to be all types of regulations having to whitelist
Oversight.
addresses
Yep.
and telling you what you
Oh,
can and can't
bro,
do,
bring up.
reversing transactions. All this is coming, but it doesn't matter to people because put it into place. If it's going to pump my bags, that's all that matters.
Dude, I got to tell you guys this real quick. Miguel just brought this to mind. So I'm on vacation, and I needed to send Miguel a small amount of crow, right? And I had never sent to
Ridiculously
him
small.
on, like, ridiculously small. I think it was like $5 worth or
Yeah.
something, right? I made the conversion there and told you, but whatever. It was like 10 crow, something like that. At any event, I don't even know if it was that, but ultimately, I needed to send that over to him, and I was like, "Oh, I'll just send it to you real quick. Boom, bam, slam, jump on crow, boom, 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 put the address in, okay, boom," and I go to send it, and it starts doing all of the, okay, double verification, do you this, that, all the security measures. Okay, I'm okay with that. It was annoying as heck because of how quickly it wanted multiple things, and I had to go back and forth and do the Google Authenticator. Okay, blah, 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 right? We've all done that, or maybe you have, maybe you haven't. But ultimately, all I wanted to do was send the man a few freaking crow. I finally get through. I do the stupid stuff that they want me to do that ultimately is for my security. Okay, I can jump on board with that. And then boom, it says, this address has not been whitelisted for more than 24 hours. Please check back in 24. So basically, because we're on a centralized exchange, I'm trying to send my crow from myself to my business partner here, right? Boom, bam, slam. And oh, no, 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 no. No, you don't. We need 24 hours to verify that this other person using our exchange doesn't have any shady business going on in the back. And
For
ultimately,
whatever reason it
it's
is,
for
they
whatever
just,
reason, it
yeah,
sucks.
for whatever reason, they say it's going to take 24 hours. So if it's something important, urgent, can't do it because Big Daddy doesn't let you do it, right? And it's
Yeah.
like, what the hell? It's my money. If I want to throw it out the window right now, I can. Why is there a 24-hour window of verification to, for that?
It's like the bank. It's like the
It just
bank
isn't.
when, like, you go when I was in Brazil, and I tried to make a transaction. It was late
Yep.
at night, and the time difference is whatever, and they denied the transaction because I'm overseas.
Yep.
It's just like that. Like, oh, let me call mommy and daddy and make sure that I'm allowed to spend my own money.
It's not your money, it's your allowance. That's what it is. That's what
Exactly.
it gets treated as an
Yep.
allowance
And we're pushing towards that. You are
in the
correct.
crypto
We are
space.
pushing towards that in the crypto space. It
Yes.
is getting away from what crypto was designed to be from the beginning. And we need to do something to change it. So
Yep.
I don't know what that looks like. Well, I do know what it looks like. It looks like a bunch of men and women standing up and saying, enough's enough. Hey, here's what we're going to do. No, we're not going to jump on board with this, this, and this. Oh, really? You're stopping transactions? Okay, well, then guess what? We won't be doing business with you anymore. But again, like we talked about, the reality is people don't want to be inconvenienced.
Yeah.
So,
So we got articles like this came out a few days ago saying Monero, Kyber Network, Tornado Cash, and even Zcash and some others are on here. A lot of people are jumping into them because they're privacy protocols, right?
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to show this. I'm not gonna go into this article, but basically, what I'm trying to show here is ever since this call for exchanges to start canceling out Russian users
Mm-hmm.
has happened, Hillary Clinton jumped on board. Elizabeth Warren started jumping on board,
Mm-hmm.
right? Coinbase CEO said, "We will do whatever the government tells us to do because we will comply." Right?
Mm-hmm.
The Ukrainian government came out asking for Russians to be banned. Ever since that's happened, we have had a major shift. This Ukrainian Russian war, yes, it's a terrible thing that's happening, and everybody's focused on the actual thing that's happening over there.
It's very
But on
interesting.
the sidelines where you're not paying attention right now, at least in the crypto space, there's other things happening that I will not talk about in this show.
Mm-hmm.
But crypto related stuff, it's centralization, it's verification, it's whitelisting, it's banning certain users, getting geolocations saying, hey, you're in this geolocation, you cannot be on this centralized exchange, and bottlenecking and weaponizing the centralized exchanges. And they are coming for everything that stands as decentralized. Anything that comes as freedom, they will not allow it. Right? Crypto was about freedom, decentralization, being your own bank, fighting back against the banking system. Everybody was like, where are the banks going to be in the next 20 years? They're going to be gone because everybody's going to be their own bank. Not anymore, because that mentality shifted real quick. Everybody gave that idea up real quick for some quick gains. Oh, I got my Lambo. I don't care what banks are running or whatever, because now I'm rich. I'm
How does it
financially free.
affect
The rest of
me?
you.
Yeah.
What was that?
Now, they're just always like, well, it doesn't affect me. Well, the heck it doesn't. When people say things like that, it always makes me shake my head. I'm like, it does affect you. I'll give you an example. You talk about something like, raising the minimum wage, right? And they're like, well, I mean, that doesn't affect me. I don't make minimum wage. Just whatever. Yeah, just raise a minimum wage. No big deal. Well, let me just run this through for you real quick. All of a sudden, I'll use it from my standpoint. Minimum wage gets raised, right? Let's just say I have people on minimum wage. Now it raises up to whatever it raises up to. Now, all of a sudden, I have to bring up as the owner of a company, that money. I've got to still bring that money in, right? Now, all of a sudden, people that aren't getting minimum wage are saying, well, wait a minute, they got a huge freaking raise. I want a huge raise too. And then it passes on to them. And guess what? Then those people are working on products that the products need to be sold to pay for their salary. And guess what? Now the product prices go up. Now the product you get the idea. It literally snowballs. It is a snowball rolling downhill, and that's what's happening here in crypto. They pushed it. You're muted, by the way, Miguel. But they pushed the snowball. Right. It started small, and it was like, hey, and now it's rolling down the hill, and it's starting to pick up steam. And who knows if we're going to be able to stop it at this point?
But people think it doesn't affect them, but it does.
That's what I'm saying.
All your end products come back to you, and then you're like, wait a minute, why is this tomato?
Yes.
Why is this tomato now, $5? I was buying 5 tomatoes for $1 just a few months ago. Well, 100%. Now the people that are picking tomatoes are getting paid more, and the tomato farmer is saying, well, I gotta make that money back somehow, and the only way I'm going to make that money back is by charging you more for that tomato.
That's right. Housing market. I mean, everything.
That's happening everywhere.
It all snowballs.
That's happening everywhere. And in crypto, dude, we are headed to some dark times.
Magic, I hope you are wrong on this, but I said this the other day. We're gonna have an $18 McDonald's hamburger coming in. It is not far away. And all I can pray, and I do pray, I pray for our country, I pray for our world. I pray that if nothing else, even if the inflation does take over, things go nuts, I pray that people aren't hurt too badly, that too many people don't suffer, but B, that we figure out the other side of the ball. And what I mean by that is if we're going to go just into absolute chaos in the financial sector, then we still need to be free. And ultimately, you've heard Miguel and I talk enough that freedom is the number one point of this whole thing called cryptocurrency, and they are actively trying to strip that away from us right now. And so,
people are, like always, giving up their freedoms for convenience.
Yep.
And that's all it is. Giving up freedom for convenience. Our convenience right now in the crypto space are gains. We want to make money quickly. And if you got to be ISO 222 compliant, sure, why not? Just throw it on there, make it compliant, make them do whatever institutional stuff they got to do. Let the institutional whales trade the whole system, and I don't care because I got in at 5 cents and now I'm mega millionaire.
Yeah,
and that's everyone's.
Exactly. Make sure you guys smash the like. Remember to subscribe. We appreciate each and every one of you. Hey, listen, we know it's a Saturday night. We know you could be doing a lot of different things other than sitting here talking to or listening to Miguel and I, but we do appreciate you being here. Guys, as a reminder, next week, next Saturday, we will have a debate. We'll have the topic for you here directly. We've got some topics laid out, just trying to figure out who is going to be sitting in that spot, and we're starting to schedule out farther and farther. We do have some announcements coming up for you. Can't throw that out there right now, but we've got some fun stuff coming down the pike, so I'm super excited about that. But remember, guys, this is about freedom. Don't give up your freedom for convenience, because after all, you've got to question everything.
Trust nothing.
And until next time, hodl
like it's hot.
We love you guys. We'll talk to you soon. In a world where hopium and common sense collide, starring the CryptoKeeper and BlockchainCrusader. Welcome to Debate Crypto.